course, select the Next button. This course has been enhanced with the J.J. Keller EYECUE Visual Learning System. How the system works is easy. As you progress through this course, various EYECUE tags will appear, like the one on this screen. These tags represent the key learning concepts of the program. You can click on the buttons to reveal more information about what that particular tag means. This will help you to build mental connections between the tags and the key concepts. After you've completed this course, you'll likely notice some of these tags throughout your workplace. These visual cues will help you recall what you were trained on in this course and connect it to your particular work environment. Here are the EYECUE tags you'll see in this course. Click on the buttons for an overview of what they each mean. To download a PDF of this information, click on Resources above. A forklift is a mechanical device classified as a type of powered industrial truck. Like others in this class, such as motorized pallet jacks, a forklift is used to move or lift loads. Although this seems like a simple task, forklifts can cause serious injury or death if they are misused, improperly maintained, or if the operator isn't properly trained on how to use the equipment safely. This course is designed to help you choose, inspect, and operate a forklift in a safe way, protecting yourself and your coworkers from the potential hazards associated with their use. After completing this course, you will be able to identify the various kinds of forklifts and their basic controls, discuss the center of gravity and stability triangle concepts, recognize when forklift inspections are required, explain what to look for when performing a pre-use inspection, describe how to safely operate a forklift, including parking, picking up, traveling with, and placing a load, recognize hazardous locations in order to select the correct type of forklift, discuss how to charge and refuel a forklift, discuss how to handle modifications to a forklift, and recognize when maintenance is required. Before we get into the details of this course, let's first see how much you already know. There are 5 questions in this pretest. Your pretest score will not be recorded. Select Next to begin the pretest for this course. When you think of a powered industrial truck, you might visualize the standard sit-down forklift. This is the most common type. You may encounter other powered industrial trucks in your workplace, like stand-up rider trucks, order pickers, or powered pallet jacks. Some forklifts use specialized attachments for handling loads other than pallets, like barrel clamps or roll handlers. Some even use attachments to elevate workers. Each of these units and attachments has its own purpose and set of safety considerations, but all are covered under the same OSHA standard. Powered industrial trucks are officially grouped into 7 different classifications. Click on the buttons below to learn more. You must click each button to continue. On top of being categorized by class, the OSHA standard specifies 11 designations or types of powered industrial trucks. These types are based on the truck's power source: diesel, electric, gasoline, or liquid petroleum gas or LPG, and built-in safeguards. Click on the buttons below to learn more about the types and their safeguards. There are 3 types for diesel-powered industrial trucks. Type D offer few safeguards against fire hazards. Type DS provide more safeguards than Type D, such as fuel, exhaust, and electrical safety features. And Type DY has more safeguards than Type DS, has completely enclosed electrical equipment, and includes a temperature limitation feature.
You got $2? I'm trying to get some lettuce and tomatoes for the sub sandwiches. I hear you, Don. Okay.
Each button to continue.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
There are 4 types of electric-powered industrial trucks. Type E offer few safeguards against fire and electrical shock hazards. Type ES provide more safeguards than Type E, such as spark arresting features and suppression of surface sparks. Type EE has more safeguards than Type ES by enclosing all electrical equipment. And Type EX is constructed for use around certain flammable vapors, dusts, and fibers. Check with your supervisor for specifics. There are two types of LPG-powered industrial trucks. Type LP provide few safeguards hazards, and Type LPS offers more than Type LP, such as fuel, exhaust, and electrical system safety features. There are two types of gas-powered industrial trucks. Type G has few safeguards against fire hazards, and Type GS provides more safeguards than Type G, such as fuel, exhaust, and electrical system safety features. There are also some newer types of forklifts that are not listed in the OSHA regulation, like compressed natural gas-fueled vehicles or hybrid vehicles, for example, Type CN and Type G/LP. For assistance on selecting the correct forklift for a given location or selecting the right attachment for the job, talk with your supervisor. Your employer will select forklifts and attachments based on the OSHA standard and fire codes, as well as guidance from the equipment manufacturer. If you've operated a forklift before, you know they're not like automobiles. Forklifts steer with the rear wheels, the exact opposite of most vehicles. This concept can take some getting used to if you are a new operator. Because they steer from the rear, forklifts have a much tighter turning radius than a car. Steering with the back wheels can also help you maneuver into some pretty tight spots. The downside to steering with the rear wheels is that forklifts aren't very nimble when you need to swerve or avoid another machine or a coworker. Forklifts are also much heavier than automobiles, weighing up to 2 or 3 times more than a car. Forklifts carry heavy loads in the front, so to balance the load, they have a counterweight over the rear tires to prevent them from tipping forward. As the forklift operator, you need to constantly think about balance in order to keep your unit from tipping. A forklift works on essentially the same principle as a teeter-totter. The weight of the load on the forks must be counterbalanced by the weight of the unit's body. You will need to know how much of a load your forklift can handle. The primary source of this information can be found on the forklift's data plate, also known as the nameplate, capacity plate, or ID plate. The data plate will tell you things like the model and serial number of the truck, the weight of the truck, and its load capacity. In other words, the manufacturer's guideline for how much weight the forklift can safely lift. Many data plates differ in appearance and location of the information. Here's an example of a data plate. Click on the buttons below to identify the important information you need to know. You must click each button to continue. Always verify the weight of the load is within the rated capacity of your forklift. Note that off-centered, irregularly shaped, or oversized loads significantly reduce the forklift's listed capacity and stability. When necessary, check with your supervisor to figure out the capacity your unit can handle when carrying these types of loads. While the teeter-totter concept is a good start, there's another key tool you should use. Click play for an introduction to the stability triangle with the line of action. Imagine a triangle placed between the axles. Points A and B are a straight line between the front tires. Point C is centered on the rear axle. This triangle holds your safe center of gravity. When unloaded, the center of gravity is located around the middle of the forklift. Adding a load, moving it up or down, and traveling with it shifts the center of gravity. There is also what's called the line of action, which travels up and down with the load. It's a lot to consider. Imagine a triangle placed between the axles. Points A and B are a straight line between the front tires. The center of gravity is the point within an object where all the weight is concentrated. When using a forklift, the center of gravity is in the center of a symmetrical load, but is off-center in an irregular load. When a forklift isn't carrying a load, you only need to consider the forklift's own center of gravity, usually somewhere near the middle of the unit. But when you're lifting or carrying a load, you must consider the combined center of gravity of the forklift and the load. The forklift will be stable as long as the combined center of gravity stays within the stability triangle. Imagine a vertical line passing through the combined center of gravity. This line is called the line of action. If the bottom of this line goes outside of the stability triangle, because a load is too heavy or too high, or because the forklift is not on a level surface, it will tip over. The bottom of the line of action must be inside the stability triangle for the forklift to remain stable. The center of gravity will shift depending on acceleration and deceleration, position, size, weight, and shape of the load, and any slope of the ground. As long as the combined center of gravity remains within the stability triangle, you won't tip over. However, if it reaches outside of the stability triangle, forward, backward, or side to side, the forklift will tip. If you've never operated a forklift, you'll want to get a good feel for the controls before you operate one for the first time. You should get the hang of these quickly with a little practice. Click on the buttons below to learn more about a forklift's general controls. You must click each button to continue. Click play to see how controls and functions can differ based on the type of forklift. Although most forklifts have the same basic controls and functions, where they're located on the unit will be different depending on the manufacturer, model, and type. And because no two models are exactly alike, each has its own set of operating procedures and safety rules. Your company will provide training on the specific type of forklift you'll be operating, or one that is similar, including the function of all its controls. It is also a good idea for you to read the operator's manual so you know exactly what to expect when using the forklift. Did you know you can take a break and exit at any time during this course? Your progress through this course is automatically saved. If you choose to exit the course before you complete it, you will come right back OSHA requires that all powered industrial trucks, including forklifts, be examined at least daily before being placed in service. If the forklift is used on an around-the-clock basis, it needs to be examined after every shift. While safety or operational deficiencies must be corrected by a qualified person, it may be your responsibility as an authorized forklift operator to conduct a pre-use inspection at the start of your shift. Follow the manufacturer's instructions in the operator manual and your employer's checklist for guidance. It's a good idea to have a checklist to make sure you don't miss any steps. They can easily be saved as a part of the maintenance record. The pre-use inspection is completed in two parts, the walk-around inspection and the seated inspection. There are important areas you should check during a walk-around inspection. Click on the images below to learn more. You must click each image to continue. To begin the seated inspection, use the three-point technique to climb aboard. Grab a secure part of the forklift with each hand and put one foot securely on the forklift. Click play to see an operator complete a seated inspection. Settle in and secure that seatbelt. It needs to buckle and tighten for a good fit. Stay seated and turn on the forklift. Look over the gauges, warning lights, and battery or fuel levels. Check your safety equipment, including lights, to make sure it's all working properly. Use the controls to lift and lower the forks, then tilt the mast. The controls should work smoothly and be clearly labeled. Give the horn a beep. You'll need it at intersections and anytime you can't see clearly. Test your brakes by moving forward a few feet and pressing the pedal. Expect some resistance and confirm you can stop smoothly and reliably. Solid steering is important. A lot of play or hard steering will reduce your control. Set and test the parking brake, put the controls in neutral, and then climb out of the forklift to check the ground for leaks. Leaks could indicate a hydraulic problem, and fluids left on the floor are a slipping hazard. If the lift isn't battery powered, look for sparks or flames coming out of the exhaust system, and listen for any unusual sounds. If everything checks out, you're all set to put the forklift to work. However, if you see a problem or defect with the forklift, don't use it. Immediately remove it from service and report it to your supervisor. Don't take chances with a forklift that may be unfit for duty. Forklifts are surprisingly easy to tip, especially when handling a load. Take safety precautions to avoid trouble before you pick up a load. Click on the images below to identify 3 basic precautions. You must click each image to continue.